This isn't just a podcast. It's a reminder of what makes America stronger isn't a headline or a hashtag.
It's people, from the ones building our homes to the ones rebuilding their lives.
Veterans, tradesmen, neighbors, and volunteers. Real people doing real things.
Here we find common ground first, and then we work on our differences.
This is the Collective Perspective Podcast,
where purpose, people, and progress meet. As we were looking over this, and we just found out who prioritizes people first, but we're doing something that's a little different with the what, why, how, when. No.
What, where, why, when, and how. What, where, why, when, and how.
Okay. And that specific order is for diagnostic or
analytical.
Purposes. So we're analyzing what these terms mean, right. Basically.
Get this, Travis. What it communicates is what, defining the thing clearly, you start with reality, not an opinion, right? Where, you establish the context, you anchor it in a real place or situation.
Okay.
Right? Why, you explore motive and meaning only after facts and content are established.
So this is not opinion-based.
Why is like you explore meaningful only after facts and context are established.
So why would be our interpretation of it?
Right.
Okay.
Why is it happening? When, adding time, important, not leading the story. That's what when is.
Okay. When is a time component.
How is a mechanic's last. You avoid jumping to solutions before understanding.
With how?
So not to jump into conclusions.
Okay.
So you avoid jumping to solutions before understanding what's happening. This order says I'm trying to understand before I judge and fix. Critical thinking.
Okay. Yeah.
Why some people push back on it. Many people are conditioned to lead with why or how because why can be used to justify a position quickly.
And I think quickly is the key term there because so
you're quick to give an opinion.
Exactly. And a lot of people they can be very defensive. In my field of work, we're always told not to ask. When I first went to school, we were told not to ask why.
Wouldn't you say, "Hey, what is wrong with you?" Not or why are you acting this way?
Or how did that make you feel? Not why.
Right.
A why question first can tend to be accusatory. Well, you know it's wrong. Why did you do it? Kind of a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Get this. How jumps straight to control or action.
Yeah. How did it make you feel?
How did it make you feel?
Well, answer my question. How did it make you feel? That's more of a direct. But later in my career, I learned that asking why is actually what you're supposed to do in certain circumstances.
Here you go. When you delay those in the order, why and how, like I have, it can make people uncomfortable because they don't get to argue immediately with you. Right? So if you go to who, then they can argue with you immediately. But being that you aren't going to who and you go to what, then they're like, well, wait a minute, it makes me uncomfortable. Like, I want to be able to disagree with you, like maybe perhaps you did.
Yeah, you don't have a rebuttal right away. You have to wait and see how it unfolds.
Get this. You don't get to solve immediately. What happens is your order forces listening first. Boom, mic drop.
There you go.
Can you imagine listening first before you clap back at somebody?
Listen to understand and not to respond.
When your order is actually better than the standard, your order is ideal when truth matters more than persuasion. Oh, snap. Emotions are already high. You want accountability without accusation, or you want clarity before solutions. And I think that's the bottom line is your order is not unacceptable. It's just less emotional, manipulative, and more intellectually honest.
That's what we're shooting for.
People who dislike it usually are objecting to the structure. They're reacting to the fact that it slows them down.
That's good stuff.
How does it slow them down?
It makes them actually have to think and remember your arguments before they come to their argument or their rebuttal.
So it blocks emotional acceleration. So
Slows them down.
slows them down. When people hear why or how too early, their brain jumps to justification, defense, fixing, or arguing.
So why and how are questions that you answer with an immediacy. If you start out of order, I think it throws people off.
By starting with what, where, and when, or what and where, sorry, you keep the conversation to observation mode, not reaction mode.
So in a
They
sense,
can't argue motive if motive hasn't been introduced yet.
So in a sense, this is like a psychological warfare, or maybe even a little manipulation, because we're trying to make people think before they react. We want that honest reaction, that not the clapback as we've said before.
It forces shared reality before interpretation. So what and where demand agreement on facts and context.
So we can have a little bit of empathy.
That creates a pause because people must ask themselves, do I actually agree with what happened or just with what it means? Most conflicts skip this step entirely. That pause is the slowdown. What was your question?
So actually, with what you just said, it sounds like if you're having an argument with a loved one or even a coworker, just asking the question, what is this argument about, will make them stop and think and actually have to put it into words. And that's where I think I get, I don't know, I hear this saying, and I'm sure many of the listeners have heard this as well. It is what it is. That's just, to me, that's a non-starter. It's a cop out, an easy way to say, you know what it is. I don't have to say it. No, let's hear what the problem is. Say it. Don't say it is what it is. What is the problem? What are we arguing about? What can we not come to an agreement on? Let's lay it out so we can see, all right, are your morals compromised by going this way, by your gut feeling or your emotions, you're reacting on emotions, or are we actually acting on information and truth and facts instead of emotions? Because emotions get tied up. The emotions can be easily swayed.
So I just recorded that whole thing in the ChatGPT. Let's see what it says. You're exactly right. And what you just articulated is actually a conflict de-escalation principle, not an argument tactic. What you're actually arguing about forces recognition. When you ask, what is the argument about? You force the brain to switch from emotional reaction to language information. That shift matters. Emotion is fast, instinctive, and defensive. Language requires structure, sequencing, and thought. People cannot stay fully emotionally flooded while also clearly defining the problem. One state interrupts the other. That's why the question slows things down without being dismissive. This is almost like a argument tactic, like you said.
And that's something
like
that
some type of way of mind control in a way.
well,
Right? It's persuasion, right? Because you want them to understand what you're talking about
it's active
without
listening.
them getting mad and upset at you. I'm gonna use this on my wife.
It's active listening, to be honest with you. It's all right. So you're upset about something. What is it you're upset about? What precipitated this? And that forces them to go into that. Okay, so let me understand that I'm hearing your concern or your complaint correctly. Is this what you're meaning, or am I understanding you correctly? And you repeat it back to them what they just said, and then they will respond, hopefully in kind, with yes, that's what I mean, or that's what I'm upset about, or no, you're not understanding what I'm saying. Okay, well, help me understand.
Here's what it says: is that this is active listening, but it's a higher order form of it. What you're describing, a lot of people don't recognize as listening because it isn't passive. Let me be more precise. Why is this active listening? Active listening is not just nodding or repeating words back. At its core, it means helping the other person clarify what they actually saying and feeling. When you ask, what are you actually arguing about? What's the specific issue? Like you said, you're doing 3 active listening behaviors at one time. You're signaling attention. I'm here and I'm engaged. You're reflecting the situation. There is an issue and I want to name it accurately. And 3, you're inviting precision. Help me understand you clearly. That's listening that does something useful. So this is pretty interesting topic. If you've been enjoying this conversation, we started with the topic of why we're structuring our podcast on what, where, why, when, and how that is not a socially accepted sequence.
It's not a commonly used
it doesn't
sequence.
pertain to the human psyche of wanting to be defensive or having their opinion known right away, instead of going, It's kind of what we're doing with this podcast, right? We're taking words and going, wait, what does this mean?
What exactly is it?
Without giving our opinion, we're saying, what does this mean? And you'll notice that everything that we talk about pertains to daily life. And I kind of find it fascinating.
I think that it's it's very fascinating because we see it after we've talked about it. It's almost like when you go buy a car, you're like, oh, I'm going to get this red car. And that's all you notice is red cars. Now that we've talked about it, we notice it more. And we're trying to help other people be able to notice these things more as well.
And using critical thinking. I mean, if you go to college, your very, very, very first class is critical thinking.
At least it used to be. I don't know if that's true anymore.
I would hope so. Maybe it's home ec. Just kidding.
Hey, you know what? FHA, baby. No. What was it? Future homemakers of them? No. Farmers.
Future farmers?
Yeah.
That's totally different. You're making like pasteurizing milk or cooking cookies. Anyway, that's baking cookies, by the way. Hey, thanks for watching this little mini episode of the Direction of Podcasts.
Thanks a lot, guys.